Hello and welcome to the Midweek Blues with Robbie and Wez. And welcome to all you follow Everton people. Well, another quiet week for the Blues, Wez.
It's like nothing's happened. You know what I mean?
Wez, shall we just apologise to all those our beautiful fans out there and people who support us? That I just couldn't do a stream last night. I was absolutely, as I'm sure you all were, absolutely fuming. I was fuming.
You know what? Like Ryan wanted to come on yesterday and do an immediate reaction, and I've just reached the end of my tether with it, Rob. I couldn't do it. I was like, I'm sick of it. Do you know what I mean? Our mate Chris Domino there giving it the bifters look.
That's disgusting. What does he say? Talking shite for 2 hours. You're having a laugh, aren't you? We're going on till midnight. More than 2 hours, lad.
It was very Lily Savage there. You know what I mean?
It was, wasn't it? Did you like that?
Yeah. You want to get moved back over here, mate.
Yeah.
Talking like that over there.
I just want everyone to know, right, that I am gutted and I am devastated and whatever. I'm just trying to smile because you don't want me coming on as the Undertaker saying we're all doomed and whatever. You just don't want it. So we're going to try, if we can, and do a bit of a stream, but kind of have a little bit of a smile and a laugh at the same time. Because do you know what?
A bit upbeat.
If we don't, we're all going to cry, mate, aren't we?
Yeah, we're trying to make the best of a bad situation and try and cheer the Blues, our fellow Blues, up a little bit. Coming on here, and we're gonna start off a bit serious, obviously, because it is a serious situation, and we're going to discuss it. But at the same time, we don't want to depress people even more, do we?
No, because as we've said on many of our streams, we understand the mental health side of things, mate. I did a side there as well because it's one of them. You're blowing out, aren't you? You're not quite sure what's coming next, and then we've dropped down a place. Basically, what happened was, you beautiful people out there, the Everton 1-0 win at the weekend. It was a 1-1 draw, Wes.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
It meant a point. That was it. That was it.
That's what they've done.
Yeah, and it's like, do you know what? It's like every time we sort of like get something positive going on, then like this happens. You know what I mean?
2 steps forward, 10 steps back, mate.
Yeah, but it is what it is now. There's been a line drawn under it, and we for this particular bit anyway, and the players know what they need to do now, Rob. So we can put it behind us, and focus on what's going to happen next.
Yeah, on the pitch, friend, it's still in our hands. So if the players want to be if they're not up for the fight, because there's 7 games left.
7 games, yeah. Well, we've got 7. Yeah, most of everyone else has got 6.
They've got 6. We've got 7 games left, and it's still in our hands. So we're not looking at. We're not Burnley or we're not Sheffield United.
No,
so there's a positive, buddy.
We're not doomed. We're not doomed, are we? No. Simple as that.
We're not
by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like 2 points. Now, to me, they could only give us 2 points, because if they give us 3 points, that would have been 9 points in total, which would have been for insolvency.
Mate, how many did they want to give us?
Oh, we'll get on to that in a minute, Rob. But
I want to talk about it now.
No, like I say, if you look at it logically, like they sort of like the independent commissioner have probably gone, well, if we give them 3 points, that means they'll have 9 points deduction over the season, so that they'll get that for being insolvent.
Do you think they're that clever?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
they are. They are that clever.
But how can they be when they wanted to give us 17 to start with?
Well, the Premier League wanted 17.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's what I'm saying, buddy. Are they that clever? Because he's got Softshite has gone for 17, hasn't he?
Yeah, but the Independent Commission, obviously meant to be independent. You know what I mean? And they apparently they wanted 5 points. The Independent Commission. The Independent Commission wanted 5 points, but then because we were good boys and owned up to it and all this, that, and the other, they decided that we could have 2 points back for being good and a point back for the mitigating circumstances, which weren't taken into consideration in the last count, but they were this time. Don't get it, do you? You know, the fact that Usmanov has been sanctioned didn't just happen last season. I think it was the season before as well, wasn't it? The war in Ukraine's been going on for 18 months or something.
Yeah, 2022. However, Wes, how dare Everton put all their eggs in one basket with the Ruskies?
I know.
They should have foreseen problems ahead.
Well, do you know what? I think naming? So whoever's in charge of the club at the minute needs to get back to the crystal ball shop and get themselves a new crystal ball, mate, because obviously the one we've got is knackered.
Well, do you know the funny thing about it? I mean, you probably know because you're like so knowledgeable, my partner, is that Everton cut USM loose. Everton cut him loose the end of February 22 going into 23. Right? There's the first part. Here's another light-hearted laugh for everyone to smile about because this is how bad a joke it is. The Premier League still had a TV rights going on with Russia until May 22.
Can't make it up, can you?
Mate.
Is that Gazprom? Gazprom won it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which wasn't that what's his face that got binned out of Chelsea, hasn't he got something to do with that?
Yeah. So Man United, $1 billion in debt. Crack on, not a problem. Chelsea have spent $1 billion. Crack on, not a problem.
Yeah, but it's not about your club's debts. Like they have the revenue coming in to cover them debts.
But do they have that much coming in?
Chelsea might not have, but Man United certainly have. Do you know what I mean? They're much
£2
bigger
million
than Chelsea.
$2 million a match, they clear.
Yeah, but then you've got all the sponsorships and you've got the worldwide base of you know they've got a much bigger fan base than Chelsea have, Man United.
Yeah.
So it's the revenue coming in rather than the debts of the club, as far as I'm aware. You know what I mean? So, but I don't know. Like I don't get where. Like to me, it's blatantly obvious with Richard Masters and his cronies at the Premier League wanting Everton docked 17 points, Rob, over the season. 17 points. We haven't even accumulated 34 points. Yeah. And he wanted to dock us 17. And you're like, are you being serious?
Is that him? Is that him? It can't be just him alone, though, can it, Wes? It's not just him. He's going to be sitting around a table with Pinky and Perky going, what you reckon?
Well, ultimately, they sort of act under the cover of this. They're acting for the other 19 Premier League clubs, right? The other 19 Premier League clubs aren't going ringing Richard Masters up and going, we want Everton dock 17 points this season, Mr. Masters. Do you know what I mean?
So where's he get it from?
He just made it up.
Is that in a cafe or is that in his little gentleman's club with his pipe and slippers, having a little whiskey with a couple of others? Because you can't. That's not just. That's why I'm saying, Wes, it can't just be him. He's having a chat with other people, isn't he? So have they got a downer on Everton because Everton were clearly very, very vocal regarding the breakaway six?
Well, I, I would say no, because at the end of the day, if them six broke away from the Premier League, yeah, you'd have probably a more competitive league, but they're the ones that bring in all the money. So they don't want anybody like Man Cities and the Liverpools and the Man United. They don't want them breaking away from the league. They're the ones who bring in all the money, Rob. So for us to turn around and
What do we
argue,
bring to the table, mate? What do we bring to the table in the Premier League?
well, for Evertonians, utter despair. For the league, obviously, you know, people tune into the Premier League to watch games, but the more you're going to get a bigger audience and stuff like that with teams who are at the top of the league, and you know the likes of the Liverpool Man City games, you're going to get a bigger TV audience and stuff like that. If you're talking Everton against Crystal Palace, it probably doesn't bring in a lot of viewers and this, that, and the other, but we're still, you know, one of the founder members of the Football League, one of the founder members of the Premier League, and it just seems that way where it's just disgusting that it looks like they're trying their hardest to. They've got one foot on our heads, pushing us under, and we keep bobbing up.
I like that. That's a nice little analogy, that.
It's like that, Rob.
So,
I just thought about that off the cuff.
But are they pushing our heads under the water and we can swim, or we can't swim, so there's no hope?
At the moment, we've got a little rubber ring on round our waist, Rob. That's keeping us up. What we're always going to say is for a couple of defeats and Richard Masters to go pop on the rubber ring and we're sunk.
So if we stay up in the Premier League this year, I say if, I'm confident we will. If we stay up in the Premier League this year, are we having a statue for Sean Dyche outside the new stadium?
I think that's a bit excessive, isn't it?
No, mate. We said it was going to be light-hearted. So, you know, it's like, it's off the cuff stuff, isn't it? We're kind of...
I've seen it mentioned.
It's not going to be light-hearted. It's going to be angry and rude. And I'm here
you best leave then, because we don't need do light-hearted.
I'm here to ruin your stream, boys.
Go on then.
That's time for us to go, isn't it?
There's nothing light-hearted about me. I'm an angry bastard right now.
What's the worst that can happen? Oh, I'm not sure whether that should be on there. Gareth Glitter.
Not Gary though. Gareth.
Mm.
Completely unconnected.
Right, a bit strange, but
okay, I'll change it. If you've got a problem with it, Rob, you said it was light-hearted.
It is, but Gareth Glitter's a bit.
Okay, well, change it to something else. Sorry, mate. I've changed it now. Are you happy with that?
We don't want to go offending the viewers.
Oh no, we wouldn't do that. Is that any better for you?
No.
What? What's wrong with Ralph Harris?
No.
I forgot me train. I've lost my train of thought now because I had my little list and whatever. Well, obviously we were in the swimming pool, weren't we, Wes? And Richard Masters is keeping our heads under.
Yeah, he's got one foot on our head, keep pushing us under. But at the moment, we've got a little rubber ring that's keeping us bobbing up. And it only takes a couple of defeats on the bounce for Mr. Masters to come along with his big pin and go pop, and we're sunk.
So, what's your thoughts, Ryan?
Yeah, I echo everything you've said. To be honest, hard to disagree with the facts of the whole nature of the operation. There's so many things that are fundamentally flawed, isn't there? You know, you've got Nottingham Forest first and foremost, who've got a 34.6 or 35 million breaches. They signed 42 players, and they knew exactly what they were doing. Let's not show any sympathy to Nottingham Forest. They signed player after player after player with the full intention of trying to cause a real upset and stay in the league. They did stay in the league by the, they weren't particularly great, but they knew exactly what they were doing. They took a gamble. It sort of paid off for them. And I think they probably would have said, look, should we sign these 42 players, spend a load of money, and, we'll stay up and we might get a 4-point deduction. I think it's a gamble that's paid off for them. I've got no sympathy for them. They've only been given a 4-point fine. Meanwhile, Everton, who have mitigating factors, we didn't go out spending on him, and him, trying to compete and do something on the football pitch. We haven't spent a bean for 5 years. Yet us, with these mitigating factors, we've got a 10-point deduction, which became 6. They actually tried to give us 12, which is absolutely ludicrous. You get less for administration. And then they have the complete audacity to give us another 2 points, for the same sort of accounting period. Who are these people? I have no doubt that in this industry, there is little nice brown envelopes being passed around. I don't understand what the agenda would be towards Everton, but I think there is an element of, let's pick on a club that's big enough to have an input and to cause a scene, and big enough to scare away the likes of Newcastle, because they've got that established 6 of Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City, Man United, and they want to protect the brand and these clubs that bring in a lot of money. And the cynical conspiracist theory would say that they don't want a Newcastle United or an Everton competing, so they target Everton, big enough to cause a storm, to try and prevent that kind of investment from other clubs. But there's so many facets to discuss.
The thing is,
things aren't quite right about this.
The thing is, right, if you're a team coming up, right, how do you compete in the Premier League without spending money?
Pointless. It's the only business in the world where you're not allowed to make a capital investment to improve it. There are loads of businesses in every industry in the world where they make losses year after year after year after year to try and grow and progress. I work in music. I could go out and make a loss for 5 years buying musical instruments, buying PA systems, DJ equipment, and all this stuff with a view to eventually making money. What the Premier League does is stop anyone building a brand, building a club. And that, for me, goes against everything, because the whole thing is meant to be sustainable. Let me bring you to a point. You can talk about this points process and what's happened and why that's wrong. But let's talk about the key issue here, which is PSR. Thank you, Emma. Profit and sustainability. What is sustainable about potentially seeing Everton Football Club relegated on the back of 2 points? Let's look at this. Okay. So Everton, in my opinion, this season would finish 14th in the league, above Crystal Palace, without these points deductions. And now I think we will finish 17th, probably on goal difference, ahead of Luton. That is my gut feeling, right? Now, that is the difference between 14th and 17th, 14, 15, 16.
8 million.
It's a few million quid that you're losing. It's a double jeopardy, if not a treble jeopardy. Now, let's say next season, Everton fall short of PSR by 6 or 7 or 8 million quid. You are creating this little weird cycle where you're finding us in this year, effectively, 6 or 7 million quid, which is having a knock-on effect, which means we have to make even more money, more of a deficit. There's nothing sustainable, and I get your punishment. But what about different punishment that doesn't affect the fans? Fine Farhad Mashiri, the absolute moron who's overseeing this, the accountant who needs an abacus to count 1 and 2. This guy, fine him 5 million quid. Fine him 500 million quid for all I know. Fine him. Maybe have a different method of punishment that doesn't directly affect us. Maybe affects the way the club is run and forces them to change the way they operate, but doesn't directly punish us. Say, rather than having 25 players in your squad, Everton can only have 23 next season, or next season Everton have got a wage cap enforced on them, which means they have to maybe reduce their squad or whatever. Maybe ban us from
Europe.
Playing in Europe. That would be a fantastic one, Mr. P. There's different things they can do, but they've gone in and they've just gone, "Hey, Ryan, you had a great time in that crap Bournemouth match where we were absolutely shit and scraped a win. well, you know, those 2 points, we're going to take them straight back off you because it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter what we do on the pitch. It doesn't matter what enjoyment you get as a fan because they're just going to come in and take it off you like taking candy from a baby. And Everton are the sitting duck and they're easiest to target.
Emma's got a point there with the PSR has put in place stop clubs going into administration, and all it's doing is pushing clubs more and more, and obviously us closer to. But this isn't. They're not pushing us into administration because of the points deductions. Mashiri's done this. Mashiri's pushed us into administration, and the war in Ukraine has pushed us into administration because Mashiri's wrapped his hand in putting money into the club, which was clearly Usmanov's money. So, you know, it's only 777 at the moment that's keeping us afloat. Otherwise, we're going into administration. But then, you're trying to compete in a very competitive league by, bringing in young talent like Branthwaite and Onanen and stuff like that, and then you've got to sell them to the bigger clubs at like a reduced rate to try and keep yourself within the limits of profit and sustainability.
Everton are a big club, Dave. Everton are a massive club. When they get this new stadium and this the brand perception of Everton Football Club changes from plucky sort of underdog who've gone shit to one, a really effective brand. That stadium, everything about us changes. You need your Branthwaites, you need your Onanas. The fact that you're now putting these players through and telling us we've got to sell them, you're stripping all the enjoyment out of it. And for me, it's got to be Farhad Moshiri who has to face the consequences. I want to touch on a couple of points. You're talking about points deductions. I know I've probably thrown you off here. Robbie, we know what you did for a living. You've got loads of experience in different things in life and more life experience than I could ever wish for. But you've got to laugh at the fact that Nottingham Forest get a reduced sentence for good behaviour in a civil matter. Okay? This isn't a criminal court where, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Go easy on me, officer. No, it's black and white. You're talking about profit and sustainability. You're not talking about being a good boy and admitting you stole the sweets from the corner shop. You are a naughty boy, and you'll be punished just the same as everyone else. Have fairness, okay? If the whole point of PSR is to maintain fairness and transparency, have the same fairness and transparency, have the same independent commission on every single case, okay?
Yeah, totally agree. But we were the first club. I don't know what the agenda is. I genuinely, we don't. None of us know. We were the first club, so we were it with a baseball bat, and not Forest with it with a sponge, and that's the difference.
Yeah, it's like going to do a bank job, innit? And the granny that was standing outside getting sent to prison for it, innit? You know what I mean? It's like,
I like that.
But it is. It's like, a bystander, which is the fans of Everton Football Club. Moshiri's sitting there up there on his throne, and he's sitting there laughing his head off, counting his millions upon millions of pounds. And it's the club that because whoever takes us over, whether it be 777 or somebody else, he's going to walk away, going, well, I kind of done my job. I've got the stadium built for them, but in the meantime, I've sent them into oblivion. You know what I mean? But
the auditors have written off our books, and they wanted to look at the books again and again and again. So they've gone back, and that's what they're not happy with. So I don't know, they've been moving money in a different way, but when they signed the books off, they changed certain things. And this is the first set of books for 3 years that have been the way that they should be, because the Premier League have been changing things all the way. Everton haven't done nothing illegally. It was just that they were moving money from A to B. So it clearly possibly was money coming in from another source.
Yeah.
But it's not just Everton that have done that as well, by the way. That's not just Everton.
No, but it's also like the fact of the matter is there's been 4 independent commissions now come up with 4 different punishments, right? Now there was nothing set in stone for any of them independent commissions.
None of those commissions
say-
agreed with any of the previous one.
But listen, there was nothing set in stone to them that they had to be points deductions. They've come up with that themselves, unless they've took guidance from the Premier League. Nobody's saying around and sat them down in the independent commission before the tribunal, whatever, took place, and said, right, whatever happens at the end of this, we want points deductions. They didn't have to go down that route. They could have come up with, like Ryan said, different sanctions, because at the ultimate, the end of the day, ultimately, it's hurting the fans.
Don't punish the fans. That's what they said. Quote.
Yeah, but they have. You know, we campaigned as fans for years and we was on telly campaigning to get the board out, get them out. And it was, it was all over Sky, everybody there with the banners and this, that, and the other, and get out of our club and whatnot. And now we're being punished because we wanted the ones who were running the club out.
Not much in the media, is there? In defence of Everton, it's just a little article. Like,
no, I don't agree, Rob. I think I've seen quite a lot of things where they've said that they've made a complete mockery of the Premier League. Lots of different articles. I'd have to see that. They've cut loads of stuff on Twitter where maybe they've said that Everton's case highlights how bad the whole situation is, made a laughingstock, made a mockery of everything. There was one I saw this morning which said the integrity of the Premier League this season has completely gone out the window. So I think there has been a few.
Right. Yeah, but that's not based on us.
Yeah, they maybe don't care about Everton. They just care about the whole process.
That's based on the brand of the Premier League. They're ruining the brand of the Premier League, not what they're doing to Everton. All these pundits can say what they like, right? They don't give a shit about Everton. It could be any club in that league. That's not one of the the Sky Six, but they don't care about them because it's ruining the brand. And that's what they're in fear of, is the fact that they're making an absolute holy show of themselves across the globe by possibly relegating teams after the season's finished. Giving teams 2 lots of points deductions in a season, giving another team less points than what another team got for spending less money. People who were sitting, across the globe are just like us, and they go, well, hang on, they spent more money than them, so why have they only got half the points that they got deducted?
What really winds me up, and Denise Baxendale deserves all the stick, and Grant Ingles, they absolutely have justified it now. Bill Kenwright, rest in peace, also massively responsible for this, and won't get to see what's happened, but the fact of the matter is, we breached in 1 year, and with that inept and that incompetent at the financial side, that we didn't recognise that we're also going to be in breach the following year. It's unbelievable. So as much as we can sit here and say, yes, the process is flawed, there's no transparency, yes, there's no consistency across the appeals boards and the committees because they've all disagreed with each other. But we have to, as absolutely correct, to sit here and say, we wanted this board out, but we're being punished. We wanted rid of them. We weren't encouraging them. We accepted the fact we had no money to spend. But they have to take responsibility. It should be Denise Baxendale and Grant Ingles up on the dock going, you are responsible for this. You are the CEO. You're fired. And you owe us.
But they were fired. With a cracking lump sum in their ass pocket.
Yeah,
we paid them off. They got redundancy for being bad at the job.
I was watching Talk Sport today, and that Simon Jordan turned around and said, "Hit the nail on the head, right? the 20 clubs 10 years ago sat down and agreed to everything that's going on today with regards to not having a punishment sort of scale or anything set in stone, and the independent commission can make up what they like, right? So now this is happening. There's obviously only us at the moment and Forest who were up in arms about it, right? But where he said, where's the other 19 clubs or whatever, or 18 clubs coming along and saying, hang on, this isn't fair? Because they're not. They won't do it
They don't care until it affects them.
until Chelsea or Man City or Newcastle are all like, so because everyone's going on about the rule changes and this, that, and the other, right? Regards to Man City. Let's get one thing straight here. The Premier League have already come out and said any punishments Man City's going to get is going to be done under the old rules before anybody says anything else. Now, they could be in the process of changing the rules for in the future, but they're saying that any punishment's going to be dished out because they've breached under the old rules. They'll be done under the old rules. Whether that happens, I might see paid fly.
I don't believe for 1 minute that Manchester City's Sheikh Mansour, is it?
Yeah.
Multi-billionaire isn't writing checks out to individuals in power or big wads of cash, £1 million, say nothing, do nothing until this time because we're going to do this, and little fraudulent documents and all this sort of shite. I just think when we saw with the Sepp Blatter, when we saw that was it FIFA or UEFA? One of them was corrupt.
FIFA.
It's corrupt. It was corrupt.
And UEFA. Because Michel Platini got done as well, didn't he?
Yeah, so they're all corrupt.
Same with Olympic committees as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rob, you've seen it even in your own work in the past. There's corruption in every. It's just.
It's life.
I just want to know why.
It's life and it's society. It's how you deal with it. But when you're so far up the food chain, and you've got the cartel protecting you, you literally are barley.
Yeah, but when you've got Andy Goldstein, who when we first got our 10-point deduction, the Evertonians coming onto his talk show, going, it's corrupt. The Premier League one is relegated. At first, he was like, why would he want you relegated? He was questioning the fans. For what reason would the Premier League want you relegated? And now he's gone a full circle and gone, I actually think there might be something in what the Evertonians are saying. Do you know what I mean? And if he's saying it on TV, on Talk Sport and on live radio, then we can't all be wrong, can we?
Robbie hit the nail on the head before. You got Man United, billions of debt or whatever. Chelsea able to spend £1 billion on players and just pluck whatever they want out. Players on £300,000 a week at Manchester United. And apparently it's unsustainable for Everton to have a 38-year-old Manchester United ex-winger, Ashley Young. There's nothing about this screams that this has got the best interests of the football clubs at heart.
But it also, right, is the danger that could happen to Everton, right, is that everyone's kind of thinking if they go down, they'll probably come straight back up, but they won't. They won't, because all the decent players that they've got will all be sold.
Right, Wes, I had a look last night. Okay, at the squad roster, there's 24 senior pros, of which 8 of them are out of contract at the end of the summer. Seamus Coleman, Garner Gay, Andre Gomez, Dele Alli, who conveniently is fucking hell. I mean, it's unbelievable. Not been seen all season. He's on 100 grand a week. There's 8 of them, so we're left with 16 players, of which 2 of them, Branthwaite and Onana, apparently are shoehorns to leave. That leaves us with 14 players, of which half of them are Mikolenko, Nathan Patterson, Michael Keane.
But they're championship standard. You know what I mean? They probably look good in the championship. But
now, what I just want to say one thing, sorry. Why are we not, knowing that we potentially have to sell Onana and Jared Branthwaite, why have we not got a naming rights deal for the new stadium lined up before 30th of June to stop us having to sell our better players? And I disagreed with the decision to play another full season at Goodison Park. Money is proven to be more important than this emotional side of the game. Yes, it would be nice to have a full season at Goodison, but when we are physically losing points because we're not making enough money, then why put it off? You should be in that at the winter break, get into the new ground, get some concerts, get some money in. I know, Wes, I know you're shaking your head, and it would be lovely to have a final proper send-off at Goodison.
No,
But I'm telling you, it's not that good at Goodison. I go every home game I can. It's not good. And
I
I couldn't
wasn't
give a
shaking
toss.
my head, and I
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
shaking my head at your point. I was just shaking
Okay.
my head at the fact that it doesn't make sense to have a brand new ground sitting there empty.
Fucking
You know,
empty till next door.
but
Who's made that decision?
Something's not right.
yeah, but
Another 50,
what I've
60
been
grand.
told, what I've been told by people who are working on the ground is that it's meant to be handed over at the end of this year, and it's not going to be ready anyway. But then it's not going to be, coming into next season where it's not going to be ready. It's probably only going to be not ready for maybe a couple of months or whatever.
Sack all this emotional, sentimental bollocks off and get Beyonce doing a concert in Liverpool in there next Christmas, this December, and make a few quid. Because why are we so fixated on trying to do the right thing all the time when it has been proven that you don't get anywhere doing the right thing and trying to
Yeah,
be
well,
Mr.
me and
Nice
Robbie was just talking behind the scenes there about this. Is that obviously this thing's raised its head about Andy Bell and George Downing saying that they're going to buy the stadium, write off a lot of money, millions upon millions that's owed to them, and then obviously they're going to own the stadium. But then that means we get match day revenue. But we wouldn't get any revenue off things like that. We wouldn't get no money off the Euros. We wouldn't get more money off any concerts that are held at Goodison. So it's kind of like, what's the point in going through all the shit that we've gone through for the past 3 years and all these points deductions where we were supposed to build a stadium to generate more revenue to then not get that revenue back? That's the kind of Everton thing. Like Andy Bell and George Downing are not going to write off millions of pounds, right? Thinking that they're not going to recuperate that through the stadium itself.
What are the commercial deals and what are the commercial plans anyway for in that new stadium? Because I'm telling you now, we cannot play football like we've been playing this, as Daesh said, an engineered fight or whatever in that new ground. You don't spend that kind of money and then get all of us in there and then play hoofball to... I'd rather have Robbie play than Ashley Young.
I give you half an hour anyway.
He's in good shape, Robbie. Honest to God, you can't do it. What's the point? I actually am going to say some outrageous comments on the stream because I'm so pissed off and numb, but angry at the same time. I really don't care about the new ground. I don't care. Okay, all I want to do is watch decent football where Everton are competitive and there's a point to it. Because right now, and I'm not trying to be miserable, I know you want to be lighthearted, it's pointless. It doesn't matter. As I say, the Chelsea game doesn't matter because they could take another. They said to us in the thing they can take more points off us over disputed things. It doesn't.
That's next
It's
season.
pointless. But
That's
it's all
next season.
pointless. If it doesn't make a difference what happens on the pitch. If every time, if it's shit football, it leads to nothing. We're never going to get anywhere, and they're just going to take points off us. We might as well pack it in and go and play chess, or change this channel to follow Harry Potter and go and talk about the Philosopher's Stone or something. Because this is just boring. Not you guys. You guys are funny. It's the only reason I'm following Everton at the moment is because of this YouTube channel.
But this thing with the money that they've said about this, that's not going to happen until next season. So we could possibly start on minus points.
And Leicester as well. Leicester are apparently Leicester are going to get a points deduction for breaches last season, next season, where we get 2 in 1 season.
Yeah. But this is also a thing, right? Is that we know that obviously Goodison's getting flattened and they're going to build some sort of hub around where the Goodison used to be, right? But that is prime real estate there.
Turn it into a mental health community centre for Evertonians, and it will be oversubscribed with people.
There'll be people queuing out the door.
And make sure you've got the new church there with the confessionist. I need to speak to someone. I've got a confession. I'm starting to dislike Everton Football Club. I'm falling out of love with the club.
But this charge that's still overhanging us on the money that is supposed to be offset or on the ground. Everton arguing that it's infrastructure. It's down to infrastructure, which you were allowed to write off if you were Tottenham under profit and sustainability. But the Premier League arguing that it's not, and that they want us done for that as well.
The facts are the facts. You know, in accounting, it's to do with the law. You can't just. What are the Premier League to say that something is or isn't a legitimate expense in the eyes of the tax? You couldn't come on here and start saying, "Well, Robbie, actually, although you could pay 40% tax, I'm telling you, actually, you can't put that expense through, and your specific tax is 42%. You should do that."
Yeah, Tottenham's all went through. If Tottenham's all went through the HMRC, however, their loans were allowed to stay barley, and the Premier League never used it as a PSR. I was looking at all that today because I thought I'll just try and compare Everton with Spurs. So again, why Tottenham classes up one of the top 6 teams, I suppose. Why were they allowed to do what we've just done, but not get leathered for it? This is why people go, there's an agenda, you know, this is why people don't trust it. They've got a global product which is worth billions and billions that they can watch all around the world. And yet in the United Kingdom each week, you've got to watch it on a dodgy stick. What's all that about?
But also they got a loan off the government, didn't they? 170 odd million or something. See, we funded our stadium out of our own pocket, whereas the likes of West Ham and Man City being given stadiums. Obviously now Man City have bought the Etihad, but it's, you know, initially it was a free stadium given to them, so they were already getting revenue off that. And West Ham are renting West Ham are renting their stadium. And
how would you feel about council tax going up more? We've already got some of the highest. I don't know about you over there, Rob, but in Liverpool city boundary, it's the highest. You know, it's horrible. How would you feel about your council tax going up to fund Everton Stadium, and how would Liverpool fans feel about that? Or do you think are you talking from a more central pot from the government themselves?
Yeah, they would.
Yeah, it was
get away with that in Liverpool.
It was given to Tottenham from central government.
Yeah,
because it's a London club.
Did we? What we're saying is we got nothing, so we funded it all ourselves, and now the 6 point whatever million they allowed to be okay, but what they said was we'll come back to it. So they're going to come back to it because we've now appealed. I think they were kind of going to go, listen, we'll let you have it if you don't appeal. It's so dodgy and corrupt and soul destroying that.
Yeah, so we could have appealed the whole thing and had it delayed till next season.
But then
they might have given us more points.
They could give us more points because of so they, you know, they could have done us 3 points deductions in the same season, which you'll never ever hear the likes of again. You probably won't hear two ever again. But like you said,
I still think we'll be all right on appeal, you know, Ryan. Wes.
I think we might get them suspended.
I think we'll be all right on appeal. Because I was always, I'll never ever reveal a source, but my source was always saying 0 points from down in London. 0 points.
This barrister, this Segan fella, he initially went in and said, I think a 0 point deduction is the way forward.
Yeah.
And they pretty much fucking laughed at him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they'll have had many a meeting with other individuals before our meeting. It's not independent. Who's paying the wages? It's not independent.
But
And
they
the
don't-
same
they-
committee, do you know what, Wes and Ryan? The same committee should have sat on all of the jobs from start to finish. Should be the same committee.
Yeah. When you've got
In fairness, though, in
Got a bit of
fairness,
continuity.
in fairness, I do agree that would be nice, Robbie. But with your background as well, you don't have the same judge for every single murder case.
Yeah, no,
I
but
know,
this
I
is
know
the
that's just going mad, but
I know that. I know what you're saying, but I'm talking about for continuity and transparency here. With there's an agenda against Everton, isn't it? I mean, I'd hate to say it, but I can't think of any other way. So we got it with the
this
baseball
appeals
bat.
board seemed quite nice.
Pardon?
This current appeals board actually seemed quite nice because they
Yeah,
actually did take in the mitigating factors rather than hammer us.
So why
Because
did
if
we
we
get the
hadn't have
2
already-
points?
Because they're saying that you still breached profit and sustainability
Yeah.
in a year where if that was an isolated year, we probably would have got 6 points.
Okay,
Well,
so they
Yeah.
admitted that, and the points deduction was 3 off because Richard Masters wanted 5, but then it shouldn't have been 5.
He wanted 7.
Well, okay, but who's he to say I want them to give
He's
7?
not.
Because they
He's not.
don't know what the boundary is because it's never been set before. So it's like Rob and Peter to pay Paul. There's
Yeah.
nothing there, so they're just making it up.
Like I said, the first independent commission against us was 10 points. Now, nobody turned around and said to them at that time, because they're supposed to be independent, you have to give a points deduction. That's the only way forward, to give these a points deduction, right? So then they've set a precedent on giving points deduction. So now they feel like because of that, they had to give Forest a points deduction, and now they've had to give us another further 2-point deduction when they didn't have to. They could have just turned around and said, you can have a financial penalty. Forest could have had a financial penalty.
Well, they did it with City, didn't they? They banned them from Europe or something. They did a transfer ban. Chelsea had a transfer ban as well, and they ended up writing the whole thing off. Or something happened. So they can do it.
Yeah, they're in control of the punishments. The Premier League are not in control of the punishments. They stand there like in the normal court and argue their case. They have their barristers arguing their case. Everton has their barrister arguing our case. And eventually the independent commission come up with the punishments. But nobody, the Premier League their barristers can suggest what they like, and Everton's barristers can suggest what they like. But ultimately it's down to the independent panel to decide what happens. But they could have just gone, well, I'm not going to take any points. We'll just fine your owner. So, like I say, with the
Are you allowed to do that though? He's a separate entity to the club.
Is what?
Is he allowed to do? Would they be allowed to fine the owner?
They'd fine the club. You know what I mean? So ultimately, you
Well, does
be
that have a
finding the
knock-on
owner.
effect on the PSR the following year? If they fined us 10 million, I mean, that might be a fairer way of doing it, because they could say, well, we'll fine you 5 million, or there's loads of things they could do. They could say you can only sign 2 players. They give us a transfer ban, reduce the squad size, reduce the wage bill, different things. But they could say, we'll fine you 10 million. And in turn, then you've got to make allowances or whatever to try and regenerate that. And if you make a second breach, then you get a points deduction. But they just went in, didn't they? Hi-ho, and they've then had to do it with everyone. You're right.
Yeah, they've gone in with the worst possible punishment they could give a club. To begin with a 10-point deduction, the most in top flight football history, and that's sort of set the benchmark for dishing out points deductions for further breaches or for any club. You know what I mean? I honestly don't know whether we've been sort of like, us and Forest have sort of been like not the scapegoats, but like sort of setting an example for when they get round to Man City, or if they get round to Chelsea. Do you know what I mean?
See me laughing. Can you see me laughing?
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? They're sort of like, putting the shits up of every other club by hitting points deductions
until they come
But
to
then-
the big boys
but
that
then
they don't want to upset.
but then it has a knock-on effect, because look at the January transfer window where hardly anyone spends any money because they're petrified.
But it still doesn't affect the top six, does it? Whatever they do, it doesn't affect the top six, does it? If they find them, it doesn't affect them. They
No, it
won't give them
doesn't.
points because it's the product, and they don't want to ruin the product that brings in the
Put
TV
them on-
revenue. So if Arsenal are playing, they play it on a Saturday. If Liverpool are playing, they play it on a Sunday. If Man United or Man City are playing, they play it on a Monday. That way they get 3 streams of publicity, and that they get all the revenue that comes in from Emirates and all the ones who sponsor. Whereas we just don't. We're not in that circle, are we?
I'll tell you what's going to happen with Man City, right?
Go on, mate.
They're not going to get relegated to the National League. They're not. That's not going to happen. They're going to be kept in the Premier League, and they'll have a transfer ban and a large fine. They'll have a transfer ban for about 3 years.
And a large fan.
Absolute guarantee, and a large fine.
No
Absolutely
points.
guarantee you. No points.
Yeah, I'd go with that. When I say go with it, I agree with what you're saying, because they're not going to upset one of their chosen.
Too many cans of worms are opening, because you start then to dispute who won the league in the years that were affected by that. So I think that would be the cop-out answer. Now, would you say that a transfer ban is worse than a points deduction? Would a 3-year transfer ban for Everton now be worse than a 8 points deduction?
Yeah.
I think they're both seriously bad for Everton because of the predicament that we're in at the moment. We're up shit creek with our paddle, aren't we?
Yeah, the simple fact of the matter is, at the minute now, that staying up is in our hands, right? We got a transfer ban instead of the points deduction now next season. The shit that we've got now, we'd have to put up with for the next 3 years, and that means relegation for the next 3 years, relegation fights for the next 3 years.
Well, by not moving to that new stadium earlier, what we have done is self-inflicted another relegation battle for next year. I'm fully expecting my £750 Park End season ticket to be to witness some of the most turgid football under Sean Dyche, and another relegation battle for the 4th successive season, because what we're doing is just sleepwalking till we get to Bramley Moor.
Yeah.
Rudderless.
This was the thing I was talking about the other day as well, is that when Mashiri came in, right? When Mashiri came into Everton, he owned, what was it, 51%?
49.9%.
I think, wasn't he the majority shareholders of just over 50? I can't remember. Anyway, whenever he came in, right, he then injected money into the club by buying up shares, and in the end, he's ended up with 94.1% or whatever it is. So whether that be Usmanov's money or his money, he's injected money into the club by doing that. Now, if 777 come in, or whoever come in and buy that 94%, right, they cannot buy any more shares or inject any more of their own money into the club. It's physically impossible because it's shareholders' shares. Do you know what I mean? So where's the money going to be generated from?
Europe.
Stop saying naughty words.
No, mate. It's so like soul destroying that I've just got to come out with a comment, and it's almost like I've got Tourette's. I could have Tourette's, but Ryan wouldn't have a channel. If I said what I really want to say, and a lot of the punters, I'd be finished.
Say it.
Honestly, mate, you don't know the other side of me. Trust me, it's like you don't want to see it.
I want to see it.
We don't want to see
Put
it.
a comment, I want to see it, to the 172 people watching live. If you want to see the other side of Robbie.
While we're on that subject with Follow Everton, we love you to listen in. We've done the stream tonight because last night we just couldn't do it. So don't forget, please, to hit the like and subscribe button on YouTube. We've got 2,600 people that that watch us on YouTube and 6,900 on X. Not quite sure on Facebook.
Yeah, so like I said, I don't know whether you was on before, right?
Yeah.
Before I said about you wanting to do a stream yesterday, like initial thoughts and stuff, and then you put it, you know, the words out of it. I literally couldn't do it yesterday, mate. I at the end of my tether with it all, and I couldn't have come on here and obviously I've had a day to think about it and stuff, and I'm still fuming over it, obviously, but I'm more like calm about it now than what I was yesterday. So it wasn't like I was trying to like dodge out of a stream with you. I just could, like I'm tired of it all. I'll be honest with you.
See, Wes was over at Robbie's house this morning. We were doing the outside chi.
And if we get 10 people in the comments out of 172, at 176, 10 people saying I want to see it or equivalent, we will have a 1-minute rant from Mr. P.
Yeah,
showing his dark side.
That will be on another stream. So we'll have to stay tuned to that. If you want it, you can have it. But we'll do that for another stream because
that'll be for the next points deduction.
Yeah. It's kind of this wise old fox, he's been round the clock a few times, see, so he knows how to control his emotions.
Yeah.
But the numbers are going up. We've got people from Uzbekistan, Azerbaijan, Brazil, Portugal, the Maldives tuning in. So thanks very much on all them time zones. And I hope you're loving all of the streams that we've been doing. We'll be doing watch-alongs. We're having a midweek chat about the Blues. You know what? We actually talk about more stuff that's going on off the pitch than we actually do on the pitch. How sad's that?
Yeah. It is.
James.
Stop doing your best. Stop doing your best Lily Savage impression there. Living over the water, that.
Yeah. Sometimes I just do it, and I just don't even know what it is. I kind of just. It can be Rusky 1 minute, South African the next, Dutch the next. I'm very bilingual, you know.
So, I mean, this is the thing. If you don't laugh, you're going to cry, aren't you?
Well, we said that to start, bud. So I get where you're coming from, Ryan. And I know that you're the season ticket holder and you're the founder of the channel, I'm with your anger, but when you're a lot older, like Wes and I, like the two OAPs on the channel, you just gotta we can put it into perspective because we've been in your shoes many years ago and suffered lots and lots of things in our lives, and then when you get a tragedy like this, you kind of just go, yeah, all right, and we try and come at it from another angle. That's what we do. That's what we're doing.
Even being really honest, I'm 30. I'm not old. I'm not young. I've never seen us win anything. But
is that Jazz getting the gag again?
Yes.
Why? What's Jazz done?
She said I'm like on a dating site. I'm 30.
No, but
when
Ryan...
I saw the thing pop up on my phone which said 2 points, I kind of just looked at it and went, "Oh." You know, there's a numbness there still.
Yeah.
It's hard to be rational. Oh, we have a premium VIP member.
Gary Lee. Nice one, Gary.
Put your hands together for Gary Lee.
Okay, guys.
So I just want to highlight this here again, right? The Wolfman's got nards, right? He's a red. He's on here. And he's put his cards on the table. He doesn't want Everton to go down. Now, the Wolfman got nards, right? That's a mouthful, that, my mate. There's plenty of reds out there that do, right? But I can guarantee you now, the ones that want us down, give it 2 seasons of no derby, and they'll want us back up. 100%, because there's two lots of fixtures that Liverpool fans look out for, right? And one is the derby, and one is Man United. That's 2 fixtures they look out for every season, regardless. The only thing we look out for is the derby. Like, we don't care about anybody else. We just want when the derby's going to be. You know what I mean? So, all like when I'm in the car taking people around and we get talking about football most of the time, and they ask whether you're a red or a blue and this, that, and the other, I say now and I'll say to them, like, would you like to see Everton go down? And be honest, right? Like, and most of them saying now and say no. But you do get the odd one or two that'll go, yeah, I'd love to see you go down. And I say to them, well, see what you're saying about that in 2 years' time is Everton still in the Championship and you've got no derby to look forward to. Because it's going to be a downer, isn't it? Regardless. It's a massive game of football.
Yeah. So we do sympathise with you, Ryan, the fact that me and the Hinge and Bracket duo here, we have genuinely seen that lifting of the trophy and that euphoria and whatever. And mate, it's so sad at 30 years old that you've seen jack shit. Honestly, we really feel for you. We talk about it when we go for a pint, Wes and I. We say the lads on the stream, you've seen nothing. All you see.
You would have been one. You would have been one then won the FA Cup, was it right?
No, it was 2 or 3. I'll join you for the next pint, and Mr. Mabbsy also wants to come out, so we'll arrange that. But I am full of cold, but we'll arrange that, and you can tell us about whenever we're good. Can I just go back to Gary's comment here, please? Because obviously, as a VIP member now, I think we've got to pay some real attention to this question. Can we appeal in a real court?
I'll answer that one. Yes, we can. However, the setup at Goodison Park at the moment is so fragmented that Colin Chong, who's acting CEO and makes the tea on a match day and pumps the balls up and washes the football kits, they've not got the management or the setup. It's so fragmented. It's like if we were going to do that, it'd have to be us three that kind of organise it and put it through. It's a joke. What a joke.
I get what you're saying there, but surely somebody appointed this guy who's stood up in front of the Premier, and he's obviously done a job on the independent commission, so it won't be dissimilar to that. A lot of the things, was it? You know what I mean?
It's whether people are up for it as well.
Supreme Court.
I don't see any fight. There's no fight. Look, let's get the negative stuff out the way. There doesn't appear to be much fight on the pitch. I'm hoping it changes, because if it doesn't, we all know where it's going to end up. But off the pitch, I don't think the people know what jobs they're doing. I think Sean Dyche and his team know what they want, but the rest of it is like, well, that's not my role. That's your role, and that's the way it is. When the higher up the food chain you are, you don't take on jobs that are not in your job description.
We need obviously to get the 777 takeover sorted, or someone else, and then go and appoint the very best CEO, a business brain who understands it, get the Bell and Downing on the board, and then we can start to make better commercial decisions and better football decisions. And I wouldn't be adverse to changing the director of football if, when we do have some money to invest, he still is not signing players, because that last summer transfer window has not proven to be well. But I agree, Rob, you make a good point. Thanks for answering the question. You should be able to take this further, because I think you've got grounds to go to a legal Supreme Court and sue, but it's just who leads that at the moment with the skeleton staff. I just want to thank Gary for that question. Gary is one of 12 VIP members we have now, which is good. So thank you so much to those 12 people who are effectively supporting the channel. One thing we're really keen to do is grow the channel, and you may have noticed Chris has been doing, not Domino Chris, our friend, Aussie Chris, has been doing some tactical analysis. I was on the last show analysing the Burnley game along with our follow Everton friend Chad, and we have a piece of software. Good. Thank you, Wes. We have a piece of software. It's not cheap. We want to pay for it. We want to keep this 1080p streaming as well. Robbie looks crystal clear, as you can see. I'm Mr. Wes. So to do that, we need support for the channel to become self-sustained.
By the way, just before you carry on, Man City winning 1-0.
against Real Madrid.
Yeah. Don't know who scores, but they're winning 1-0.
It must be nice to be successful. It must be, I can't imagine what that. I have only ever enjoyed 2013, 14, 2009, 10, 11, 12. We had 3 FA Cup semi-finals, 13, 14, fourth place finish, I think it was, or a 5th place finish. 2015, 16, because we got to 2 cup finals, 2 cup semis, even though we crumped it with the Raheem Sterling goal over
Ryan,
line.
so what you moan about? You've had good times.
Exactly. Thank you, Bill. Anyway, but before you continue, I do need to point out about this VIP membership. I'm going to list out the VIPs. We've got Chris, David Groundry, Amy Nazir, Becky Hillary, Gary Coffee Bum, Mr. Toffees, Amanda Stevens, Stuart Disbury, MW1878, Gary Lee, WAJEFC, and Ashley Piggott. Thank you so much for becoming VIP members. We really appreciate it. How can you do this? How do you do this, guys? Well, desktop or web browser on your phone, Android, Apple.
Ryan's going to put it up right now. Put it up right now, right?
This is what you do. Okay. So you see this here? That's the Follow Everton, what it looks like, the channel on your desktop computer. Next to where it says subscribed, on the right-hand side, it says join. Okay. And if you click on the join, I'll actually show you what it now says. I'll just upload the screenshot of that.
This is so exciting. Isn't this exciting, Wes?
On the edge of my seat here.
You two don't need to do it, you sad bastards.
Just explain. Hang on, Kevin Kraft's back here. Kevin hasn't been on for a while. Welcome back, Kevin.
Welcome back, Kev.
All right, Kev.
Let me just explain this, and then you can chat. So when you click on join...
Thanks, Kev.
Thanks, Kev. Cheers, Kev. Click join. Then you get presented with this, and it will tell you what you get. It's basically a glorified donation. We're not dressing this up as some wonderful thing. We don't have... If we had, say, 50 VIPs, we would probably do a special show, exclusive, just Mr. P on his own, telling his stories behind the paywall, and that would be for the VIPs only. And Robbie Rants would be the new show, and he'll tell you story after story. And we'll get it on Spotify as well as a full-on podcast.
Yeah. You can kick off, lad. Chop kick off.
Chop kick off, lad.
You can see. Let's show Mr. P his reaction there. Look at he's smiling. He wants Robbie Rants. He wants it. He's ready for you. He's the new Bailey Sarian.
Are you up for it?
He's gonna have his daughter's gonna order him some fancy lights and a new podcasting.
You wouldn't think I could be Tyrannosaurus Rex, because I like to be Brontosaurus. You know what I mean? I just like to beat them leaves.
There aren't any.
You want a bit of Tyrannosaurus? Hit that VIP button. Hit it now.
I mean, my fiance. Some of the stuff she watches on YouTube, literally a person reacting to something else or watching something else or telling a story. And I think, Robbie, you've got all the stories. So, forget Follow Everton. You could be doing Robbie Rants separately. But yeah, so we may have some exclusive videos at some point. But for now, Follow Everton supporter is the cheapest option, 99p a month. It is just a glorified donation. You get these loyalty badges. So you'll eventually end up. Can you run us through those crests, Rob?
Well, I can't even see them, even with the glasses on.
I can't even see them.
Sorry, mate. Joey, I can't see it. I don't want to. It's got a terrible. My side's gone terrible line.
You've got the current badges, okay, and then after 3 months, you're given the EFC logo, the letters. Then you've got that wonderful crest we saw on the anniversary kit. I think we've got some 80s, 70s badges there. And you'll get some custom emojis. There is another option, which most people have gone for. 10 out of the 12 people are the VIP members, $2.99 a month donation. And with that, you get the badges, you get priority replies to comments, you get the shout outs, you get the members only polls. So thank you so much. You get naked
photos of Ryan.
Yes. Nice. For an extra $9.99 a month, we will send you Denise Barrett Baxendale's nudes.
Oh, what's this?
Moving back to the stream, I do have to mention it because people sometimes need a bit of prompting and explanation where it is to find it. But let's go back to Mr. Bob Stevens' comment, Dave.
Yeah. I just want to go back to Gary's question on appeal, that he believes we can take it to the courts. It's complex. I think it needs to go to some competition tribunal first, and then eventually judicial review. I'm not sure. I like Robbie's more clued up on all that than me, but I didn't know whether you could take a civil course to a criminal. Like, would it be a criminal court, or could you
No,
take?
no, it won't be criminal. It can go to the European courts, though. But at the end of the day, it takes years, and they might go, "Yeah, you were right." However, we're in the second division at the time.
See, I was under the impression with these independent panel things, independent commission things, is that we couldn't take it to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. That was the impression I got.
Yeah, there's no you can't. They can't say you can't. I just don't think Everton have got the bottle to do it. There's someone possibly going to do it at some time. Whether it's in my lifetime, I don't know. This is a perfect opportunity to do it. But again, I'll just go back to the fact that Everton have not got the setup.
What's the worst thing that can happen? They couldn't increase our penalty. It would be us suing them, wouldn't it?
It would open a can of worms. It would. I mean, all they do is, Richard Masters won't even be there anyway. All they do is to just bring another CEO, bring in another few little people that go, yeah, with hindsight, we were a bit rash, but that was the way it was. The way it is now, and that's they spin it. They are spin doctors. These are like politicians. Make no bones about it. But we've not got a setup like other clubs have to go, bang, you can have it back. We just haven't got it. I'm sorry to say.
Bob, can you send me a message on Twitter, please, at Follow Everton? And what you can do is you can do that, and I can gift you a membership, so you'll have the VIP membership. Drop me a message, please. We can do it like that, and I'll gift you it.
Nice one, the thing
We're not
is
got a good solicitor. Why do we need to have?
Oh, this guy that's done the latest independent panel, apparently he's highly thought of. So he's I still think he's a King's Counsel.
Why did we get rid of Lawrence?
He wasn't available.
I love Lawrence.
He's got he's got a lot on his plate. I'd imagine being a well sought after barrister.
I love what you're saying, Wes. I love what you're saying. However, if it was me, I'd move my diary, because you're going to get a lot more kudos doing something that he's never really done before. We brought him in, and he was not a specialist in the field of what we brought him in to do.
1-1, Real Madrid.
That's all I'm saying.
Arsenal winning 1-0 as well.
How's Everton getting on?
Yeah.
In Europe.
The under-8s.
Still on the ferry.
The under-8s are just getting the bus home.
185 watching at the moment on Facebook. Thank you all.
Yeah.
If the only way for a football club to make money is down to
Jack Camavinga deflected shot.
If the only thing we can do, because commercially we're not viable, is player trading, then why are we not just plucking the best 15 and 14-year-old kids and or investing in this academy and bringing in the best 12 and 13-year-olds? Liverpool's a football mad city. Why are we not finding people playing for Wolfsburg and all this sort of stuff?
Yeah, but did you hear Kevin Thelwell's, because he stood up in front of the independent panel, right? And he basically said Everton putting young players through the academy and stuff like that, and then selling them on. That's the ethos of Everton at the moment, selling the best young talent on, which is sad, isn't it? That's why maybe Sean Dyche isn't looking at the academy, because there's nobody fucking there.
No,
it's like a ghost town.
Yeah, everything from the grassroots right up to the top is being run like a circus. Let's not mess about here, boys. We all know
Vinicius Junior's in.
What's been going on, don't we?
Oh, it's 2-1. Vinicius Junior. Why? Oh no, it isn't Rodrigo. Wide open there, 2 goals in 2 minutes. Like a watch along.
Just a shout out to Mr. Mabbsy, who turned 40 yesterday. Happy
Yeah,
birthday
happy birthday, Mabbsy.
to our
Happy
very own. He's
yesterday.
been with us from the start.
Yeah, I've seen the photographs of the party we never got invited to.
He had a little surprise party.
The surprise was Robby and Wez, you're not going.
To be fair, it was a very small do, organised by his lovely girlfriend. I was probably...
By the way, that
Like
was
20
absolutely
people there.
shocking defending from Man City
240
there.
people there, Wez, and we still never got an invite.
About 20 people there, and it was in his house.
Yeah.
Ba, 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 ba.
It was at
Listen,
the Dixie Dean suite at Goodison, and it was chocker, but so they couldn't fit us in.
as much as I love you all, and I love talking about Everton, and I do feel a little bit like I've got a bit off my chest without a rant, being very, very professional I am tonight. When I was 16, I'm thinking, do you know what? Got to be a time when we cut it.
It is.
Are you happy? Do you want to talk about anything else?
I'll cut your throat.
No, I think that's us done.
Cut your throat, and I'm done with it. There's got to be a time when you cut it, mate. That's what you said.
So we won't see you now unless something massive happens between now and next Monday with Everton and Chelsea. You'll be joined with the Tinge and Bracket duo on Monday night at about 7 o'clock. I think it's an 8 o'clock kickoff, isn't it, Wes?
It is. I've got Taekwondo, so I'll probably shoot off early about 6:30. So I'll be on for 7.
Okay.
Well,
anything else from you, Ryan? The founder.
I'm work. Do you need to be so bloody condescending?
No. You're the founder. Without you, we wouldn't be here.
And you are the manager.
I'm just some old fella that helps the stream along.
No, you two are brilliant, guys. I am.
Yes.
We'll come to. Yeah. Do you want to answer quickly?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
All day long.
They beat them this season. They drew with Sheffield United at the weekend as well. So
the only thing with this game
can't go there.
Chelsea are poo. They're going to want to come at us. Can we expose them on the counter-attack? Is Danjuma back available? Can we be brave? If we lose to Chelsea, it's not the end of the world in terms of the fact that we're not worried about gifting Chelsea points to help them. They're not a direct rival. Whereas losing to Luton, Forest and Brentford would have catastrophic ramifications to us. So I wonder whether we can approach this positively and just don't lose to Brentford, Forest and and I can't remember.
Sheffield United.
Luton, Sheffield. Yeah, we've got 4 games. We should be able to get 3 wins out of the 4 there.
I'd say 6 points minimum.
I think we need. Are we on 27 points?
Yeah, we need 9.
25 now.
No, it's 27. I think we need.
Oh yeah, 27. Yeah, 27,
I think 34 points will keep us up, providing we don't lose to Luton and Forest. 34 points. That's 7 points, which means I'd be honest. I'd take a win against Forest at home, and 3 draws: Luton, Brentford, and Sheffield. You're all going to laugh. I'm very cynical. I don't think the quality of football is any good, but I think that does see you through to the end of the season. 34 points with the positive goal difference will be enough. I think we're going to lose to Arsenal and Liverpool. We'll get a draw at Chelsea on the weekend. And in my heart of hearts, I think we'll probably lose to Luton and win the 3 home games because we'll come good at the end.
Yeah,
in the end.
The thing is now is that they know there's not going to be no more points deductions. So
not for now. That's what you think, buddy.
like on my thing there, it says, "Let's play point deduction bingo. Eyes down, look in."
let Robbie go. Is Kaz is there, but I'm going to be.
No,
back
she's due in. She's due in now.
Okay. I'm I'm working tomorrow at funeral. I'm working Saturday, but we don't play till Monday, so I may well do the Sunday, unless there's a Sunday night blues with Chad and Chris focused around the game. In which case, that will be the match preview. Then I will do the match preview on Sunday. Are you two going to do Monday night? You're at Taekwondo, aren't you, Wes?
Yeah, but I'll shoot
you.
off early, and I'll be back here for 7.
Oh, we
no
can't
danger.
miss this Monday night. They can't miss the Robbie and Wes pre-match show. It's trademarked.
No,
Part of our life.
joined at the hip we are.
We're going to be soon though, because Robbie's getting off on holiday. The absolute cheek of it.
Yes, guts for that. Yeah, we're well covered.
How very dare you have a rest from Everton?
Yeah, apologies.
You're not allowed to live your life. You must remain in this pit of misery. Hopefully, we will have plenty of content. Chad and Chris, Robbie and Wes, myself, Mabbsy, and the team. And we'll be back really soon. Since it's you boys, it's your show. I appreciate you letting me come on and contribute. I think it's been a good chat, really enjoyable and fun. But I'll let you wrap it up.
You never know. We might have news on the takeover or something at some point. You never know. Before the end of the season.
Everything's off the pitch at the moment. So until Monday, if not before, with Chad, Chris, and maybe Ryan on a preview, we'll love you to leave you. Up the Toffees. See you soon.
Up the Toffees.